Hey there YouTube, what's happening? My name's Gray, this is Consoletronix, and I don't know about you, but I love an underdog story. Maybe that's why I have such an affinity for Sega's 32-bit Saturn console, because while you'll struggle to find anyone to criticise the Dreamcast, the same can't be said for its plucky predecessor. And while most of the negatives you've heard of are indeed true, its overly designed architecture making it difficult to develop for, it struggled with polygons, and Sega's own hubris distancing the top third-party developers. However, there is one crucial detail which is too often overlooked when talking about the Sega Saturn, and that's despite all its many problems and shortcomings, it was still home to some of the best games you will ever play. Knights, Guardian Heroes, Story of Thor 2, Radiant Silvergun, as well as superior ports of Street Fighter 03, Children of the Atom, and Marvel superheroes. But today I want to bring to you a title which, through no fault of its own, continues to languish in obscurity outside of the hardcore crowd, and that's Burning Rangers. Developed by Sonic Team back when the studio was still capable of producing games of real substance, before their reputation would be driven into the dirt like a tent peg with repeated Sonic the Hedgehog debacles. Burning Rangers would also suffer from being released in 1998, little more than 6 months before the Dreamcast was launched in Japan, so promotion for the game was slim and only reached stubborn refusers to accept reality Sega loyalists like myself. To Sega's credit though, they made sure the title got a worldwide release, something Deep Fear never managed. But regardless of whether you think the Saturn went out with a bang or a whimper, all these years later, has Burning Rangers stood the test of time? Well, weirdly, having not played it in a very, very long time, I did struggle a little getting back into the groove. While certainly not a difficult game, it always was a little fiddly, as besides wrestling with the camera, you have an erratic jetpack to worry about that can end up sending you in all directions if you're not careful. But before you think that I'm getting ready to give this game a good verbal kicking, all of these problems mentioned are mere niggles that can be done away with a little practice. Because Burning Rangers may in fact be the best Sega property most Sega fans have never played. Admittedly, Sega's mothballing of the game has had a lot to do with that, and spiritual jetpack featuring follow-up Gun Valkyrie for the Xbox received probably less attention. Set in the far future where technology has conquered all before it and mankind now lives under the sea and in the vacuum of space, but for all of humanity's progress, it still cannot control Mother Nature and her primordial fury. Enter the Burning Rangers, an elite squad of futuristic firefighters. You control one of 2 new recruits, hot-headed Sho and, if you'll pardon the pun, the full of spunk Tillis, and put your skills to the test in one disaster to the next as you search for survivors and beat the bosses to further the story. Overall, out of all of Sega's many and varied IPs, it's always puzzled me why Burning Rangers has never gotten a re-release, or, better yet, a whole new HD reboot. There were rumours for a while of Sega doing just that, and that remake was in the works, but ironically, the whole thing went up in smoke. But while it doesn't have the same level of nostalgia as some of its Sega stablemates like Golden Axe, Streets of Rage or Altered Beast, if anything, that gives Burning Rangers an advantage in finding a new audience. Plus, the story of a band of future firefighters saving lives in a towering inferno-inspired adventure is, if done right, a timeless idea. And legendary developer and creative force behind Burning Rangers, plus a whole slew of other Sega classics, Yuji Naka, may be considering retirement right now. But the chance to work on a new Burning Rangers, which, along with Knights, is one of his personal favourites that he worked on, I'm sure would be enough to ignite those passions within him and in all those Sega Saturn owners that stuck with the system up to and beyond its discontinuation. So my name's Gray, you've been watching Consoletronix. I hope you enjoyed. It's been a while since I looked in on the Saturn, but it's a system I want to feature more on this channel in the coming videos. look forward to it. So, thank you very, very much for watching, and until the next time, goodbye.